All right, we are live. Today is a super, super, super exciting day. And Jason joined us as well while he's clicking away and launching 3.0 as we speak, which is awesome. Early Monday morning.
We're excited. Yeah, definitely. We're just getting the final touches on the blog post about the release. And Jason's pushing it to WordPress.org. So it's already in the process of being updated there. You'll soon see it in the admin of your WordPress sites to update the plugin. But it's not something you want to just click and say we're good. You know, this is definitely a huge version. You're going to want to maybe put it on a staging site if you have one. If you don't, just scan through all your custom code, see if you're running anything unique in your site that is custom code. If you're just upgrading from Paid Memberships Pro with our add-ons and you don't have any custom snippets running or custom functions in your theme, you're good to go to update to 3.0 and just start enjoying the new features and all the new stuff that's a part of this version. We're going to be streaming today for 2 hours in the morning till 11:30, and then we're going to stream again afternoon 1:30 to 3:30. So we kind of, Sam, do you have the breakdown of what we wanted to talk about in each block? I can pull that page up.
I did
kind of had like a loose idea. I know the afternoon is dedicated to showing the new WordPress block editor functionality and features, showing how some of our add-ons have been updated and the changes that are a part of them to make them compatible with version 3.0. So all that stuff. Jason, I'll loop you in when you're ready. Just yell at us.
Okay, I'll tell you when.
In this morning session, we're going to go over the admin interface improvements, the new edit member screen, the multiple memberships per user and level groups as a new options, and then the view as settings for admin. That's going to be the morning session that we're going to dive into.
And I didn't set up a dev. I think I'm going to just go through from the start, from setup, hopefully not encounter any bugs or warnings. My development site has the 2024 WordPress theme, so I'll go through the setup of Paid Memberships Pro, and we can also talk about what upgrading looks like and what you might encounter if you're upgrading an existing site. Catch the Fire Forerunner Ministries v3.0 is pushing as we speak to WordPress.org, so the version will show up soon in the admin of your WordPress site because it's such a large update of files. There's a lot to commit to there, and it may also just take a moment for the plugin review team if they do scan things. We were hoping to launch last week, but there's a new plugin called Plugin Check, and we put Paid Memberships Pro through it and just tightened up even more security and escaping and localization things to get the plugin to like a really clean place. The finish line always creeps out a little bit as you get closer to it, unfortunately, with a race like this. But we've been developing this for 3 years, so it wasn't something we were gonna rush at the finish line. Morning, the optimist.
About those, excuse me, I'll get water. About those security updates, we didn't find any, in that scan, I don't think we didn't find any new like true security issues. It is like the scanner has changed and scans differently, and some things that pass the scanner don't pass the scanner anymore. And it really was like just a double check. And I'm concerned, like if we have to push updates to 3.0, we want to be able to do it rapidly. And I know the plugins team, all they can do is scan and kind of obey the scanner. So it's kind of like, let's make sure the scanner likes our files and things like that, so that we don't get held up if we have to push updates rapidly. But we've been testing this for like 3 months, right? So it's hopefully it goes as quick as possible.
Just as more people are joining, but when we first started, Kim just talked about like, don't necessarily immediately click the update button because this is such a huge update. Check for custom code. I think we should probably like reiterate that as we go through both sessions, just because we don't want your site to break. We want it to be successful for everybody. So,
and I guess along with that note, we're going the extra mile in our pre-sales. So if you're not a paid support member, getting a paid support account will be the fastest way to get prioritized support that's technical for your site. But we're going to try to go above and beyond for our pre-sales contact form help, as well as our WordPress.org within the confines of what support depth we're allowed to provide there for anyone that's experiencing issues as part of upgrade. So a big part of 3.0 is the new subscriptions table. We have our shirts. Subs table fixes this has been something within our, I know I probably lost my audio, something that has been a comment made for the last 3 years within our team related to issues that our users see, that we see in our own membership site, that payments getting out of sync with memberships, the price someone's paying getting out of sync with what's shown to them on the front end of the site. So subs table is a new under the hood feature. You'll see some of it in the admin of your site in 3.0. We'll get through demoing that later. But part of why Jason's here is to talk about the benefits of why we have this new subscriptions table. Pay memberships Pro memberships are now, from a member standpoint, managed in 2 tables, kind of 3 tables. The table that tracks what memberships a single user holds, and that's in our PMPro memberships users table. And then we have a subscriptions table, which is a new in 3.0. It's a table that'll get created when you update to 3.0 from a 2.12 or lower tier or lower version. And that tracks in tight sync with your payment gateway what someone's paying you, when they're paying you next, what the idea of that subscription is, how they're paying you, what payment method they're using, in really tight sync. So it's a new piece of Pay Memberships Pro that kind of is a groundwork for a lot of stuff to come. So Jason, you want to talk about subs table a little bit? Or are you still in the hubbub?
The final test before I push the button kind of failed. I'm checking to see what's going on.
Okay, I won't loop you in yet. Yeah.
Okay. I missed my cue.
So yeah, we joke a lot whenever we see a user having an issue where they thought they missed an order and then or they see a member that has membership that shouldn't. The joke inside our team is subs table fixes this. So there's been a lot of us throwing that around. So we thought it was a good idea to remind ourselves of that for 3.0. It's such a major release, but a lot of the features might seem invisible to a site, which is a good thing. But it is unlocking a lot of possibilities for you with your membership sites. So I don't know, maybe I can just start the initial setup and then we'll loop Jason in when he.
Well, we actually have a couple questions just right off the bat.
Okay, let's do
that. So Adam said, any specific test that you'd recommend? So we know, like when we first started, we said if you're recommending doing on a staging site before you push it to your live site. Are there any specific tests that we would recommend for our users to be doing?
So one of the big improvements in 3.0 is that we've added multiple memberships per user. So that means that anytime we look at a user, we say, Sam, what membership does Sam hold? We're going to get back an array of levels, or we're going to get back a single level from them. So if your site was never using the MMPU add-on and never using a multiple membership setup, we now assume that your site does not operate that way. So every member can hold one membership at a time. So I would look at any custom code that tries to like check a user's membership level, because there's some functions that we have like a get membership level for user and a get membership levels for user, which is new. That's the one that's going to return multiple levels if the user has them. So I would check any custom code that looks up a single member's membership for one. There's some changes to how our membership required block. It was called membership required block. That was, if you were using the WordPress block editor, that was a block that allowed you to nest elements within and control access to components of a page or post. So rather than protecting the page or the post entirely, you could custom craft a page that has sections that get revealed or hidden based on whether the user is free or paid or whatever your tiers are named, if they're logged in or not. We've changed that now to be called a content visibility block, which is a lot more complex, but it has logic to upgrade itself flawlessly on a page. So we saw some funky things in our site with that at one stage, and it was really just our user error with another new feature. But I would check anywhere you were using the require membership block and just make sure that the content protections have been properly migrated to the new way. It now supports hiding or showing. Hiding is the new showing. Hide is the new feature. So it's like a negative condition. Hide from specifically this one level, which is really helpful. A lot of sites will say, like, I keep adding more membership levels. I have a free tier and I have all these paid tiers, and I keep adding unique paid tiers, but then I have to manually go back in and edit all the places I use that block. What can you do for me? And now those people can use the hide from specific membership levels, that free tier. So and then it just says, okay, hiding from free, and every other membership level sees it. So it helps sites like that are constantly, adding on new memberships, which I think we're going to see a lot more with the MMPU environment, a lot more people using Paid Memberships Pro as like an e-commerce solution where a single course purchase, a single page of access, separating community access from directory access and allowing people to create these a la carte subscriptions to your site and hold multiple subscriptions. I hope and I want to see that happen because it's more ways for you to get paid as a creator, more ways for people to pay you and add on things if they're really liking what you're doing. Maybe you have like a community and you have an add-on coaching service that people can buy. Those people can now hold 2 simultaneous subscriptions that are managed distinctly. They can pay for PayPal with this one. They can be invoiced and pay manually by wire transfer for this one. So hopefully it helps you all get paid better. We're trying it on our own site right now with the course as well. So it's a fun thing.
Yeah, I was excited for that course launch last week. There's
some changes to the capabilities on users. So if you had custom capabilities set up for anyone that helped you manage your membership site, revisit those capabilities. We've introduced a new one. Is it edit memberships? The docs aren't in yet, and we changed that name a lot, but take a look at the new capabilities in 3.0 and make sure that anyone who needs to access areas of the membership site has the right capabilities added to their user role. Something like that.
That answered a good like group of the questions because it was just like, what should we be checking? What tests should we do? So that really helped. Friedel said, will anything in this update help with this? If you could dive in a little bit more about what this specifically is and what your issue is, then we can figure out if it does help. And yes, Rip, we will be getting to the relationships between groups and levels and all of that. That will be in this morning session.
Yes.
And then there's even more information in this afternoon session. So
yes.
Hang with us. And this will all stay on YouTube. We are not taking it down. And then throughout the week, we'll be updating our documentation online. That way it correlates with 3.0. And we'll also be rolling out some new videos and everything like that to explain it even more.
Perfect.
And
I'm still going to flip the switch. I don't know. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I don't know, not to get too technical. So the last test is like the 3.0 is on the SVN server, but on WordPress.org, you can say like, what's the stable version? And we still have it set to 2.12.10. And so now it's on, so it's like, hey, I pushed all the files. Now I can download the 3.0 zip from WordPress.org directly. It's not the latest, it's just 3.0 and then install it. And I had trouble when I went to install it by zip because our plugin now just crossed 8 megabytes. And on at least my server where I was testing it, there's like a upload limit at exactly 8 megabytes. And so I just pushed the zip there some other way. And I don't think that's an issue that people on some servers, maybe when they download the file, there's not really a quick and easy way for us to trim 400 kilobytes out of the plugin. So maybe that's something we can think about. I don't know if other plugins run into that limit, but it will, after I switch the version, I'll run a test downloading it from WordPress.org. That is like kind of weird though, that, I mean, my dev site's not too out of character that other people might have trouble installing 3.0 from like when they upload it.
WooCommerce is 20.8 megs.
I know it's, yeah. And I think
So a lot
was like
bigger.
Yeah. So I think it's just like a weird fluke of my dev setup here. So actually I should try to download, but I didn't run into any issues once I got it on here and ran through it. So like all the files are correct. I'm going to switch it over and then try to install from the repository.
Jason's in like every morning for the last week dealing with me like today.
I've been trying to be really quiet in the background.
I know, you are.
Thankfully, I had Wednesday through Friday off, so I was like, I'm not even going to bother them. I'm just going to let them work it out, and then I'll show up Monday morning and be ready to go.
Yeah. Katie asked about sites that were already using MMPU. I'll talk about the 3 add-ons that were merged into Core Paid Memberships Pro. So multiple memberships per user used to be a Plus add-on, I think. So we took it out of our highest tier of membership and took it into the free plugin. So now everyone can set up their site to sell multiple levels. If you were already using MMPU and now it's in core, it's going to like gracefully migrate and you'll be fine. It'll put a warning on your site. It'll deactivate the MMPU plugin version and it'll keep your same level groups set up as they were. So that will have like a seamless effect. One thing that is unique about MMPU as an add-on, it had the option for just Stripe on-site checkout and Braintree payment gateway to process multiple checkouts, multiple subscription purchases in one checkout experience. So we have made a plugin that adds that feature back. It's called MMPU Legacy. You might have been using, I don't know, I don't think your site was using it this way, Katie, to sell multiples in one checkout experience. And Jason can go into the technicals about this, but there is a legacy plugin that we're going to support at least as long as we can. We're seeing that payment gateways aren't going to allow us to make transactions like that as we go down in the future. They don't like the multiple checkouts back to back in one session. But we can put a link to the add-on version of MMPU Legacy. So this would only be needed for sites that really want multiple level purchases in one single checkout experience. So an example, we have a site, I think they're a community organization of like a harbor in Australia, and people purchase a membership to support the organization, and they can add on $5 monthly contribution to, water birds conservation, $5 monthly conservation to, litter on the beach, or all these other parks and improvements to parks and carbon emissions. So they have these individual community features that people can tack on and support, so that all those checkouts in one experience was really important to them. Their users wouldn't have understood, oh, I have to go buy it again. I have to buy it again. So we thought of sites like that who really were relying on the multiple memberships in one single checkout experience. And we didn't want them to lose that feature. Go ahead.
Yeah, we wanted to give them more time to figure something out. Like, we're committed to supporting that legacy plugin for at least a year. We'll, in reality, support it as long as we possibly can. And I feel bad that we maybe, we gave the impression that this is a feature that we would support forever, but it really doesn't make sense with the way that Paid Memberships Pro works and the way the gateway is expected to work. So to support something like that would require like such a large change. Like it really, if you're using this feature and it's the most important aspect of your site is that people are selecting multiple things like a cart and then checking out all at once, you really need a shopping cart plugin, and you should switch to WooCommerce and WooCommerce subscriptions or something like that. Like it's we can get into the technical details, but it's architectured in a way where it, instead of having multiple subscriptions for each product that you're buying, it bundles them up into one subscription that you pay. And potentially it's something we could do, but it feels like it's a use case that is out of alignment and is so much work that we couldn't support it. And yeah, it gets into the technicals. One of the strengths of Paid Memberships Pro, like Subs Tables fixes this versus some other solutions, is that we let the gateway manage the subscription, and then we sync with the subscription. And the big update in 3.0 is that sync is stronger now. Like we used to, we didn't so for example, when's the next payment coming? That's like information that the gateway controls. The next payment date is this. And in Paid Memberships Pro, we didn't keep track of that locally. We would either ask, if we had to know, we would ask the gateway when's the next payment, or we would kind of guess. But that makes it hard to do something as simple as like, show me a list of members, sorted by when their next payment is in Paid Memberships Pro. And that was something we couldn't really do well. Or at checkout, kind of, are they downgrading or upgrading or prorating? Let's use the next payment date to kind of calculate things like that. We were making slow calls to the gateway. So anyway, it's like we let the subscription. One good thing about letting the subscription manage the gateway is if your website goes offline, the subscription's still working. It's still charging recurrent payments. If you decide to move from WordPress to something else in the future, you have all these subscriptions still active, and it's not easy to move to another service, but it's possible. Like it's like, your the subscription itself isn't like stored in WordPress first. It's managed by the gateway, and we synchronize with it. And that synchronization is tighter than ever. But because we do it that way, you can't really do things like true shopping carts. Like we, in a sense, fake it, like Kim said, by having multiple like you check out, it uses that same token authorization. Like, yeah, use my credit card to do multiple transactions. And that works now. And it, there's indications the credit card companies and the gateways like don't necessarily like that behavior. I don't know if you've seen it. I mean, it's like details of how does India doesn't allow recurring transactions. And if you're familiar with like secure authorization, sometimes when you check out, it's going to ask you for like a 2-factor authentication. And so these kinds of things, it's like moving in a way where, the credit card companies, I don't know, like the technicals of how they like make sure that a person really intended to make that purchase. And it's weird. It's out of alignment. So we're kind of using the gateway in a way that it's like, it's working for now, but there's indications that the gateway might like think that's fishy and stop working that way. So you should move to another solution potentially. Either if you want to stick with PayMarshals Pro, there's tons of good reasons to stick with PayMarshals Pro. It's you kind of have to update your workflow that people buy the one subscription and then like, hey, do you want to buy the other subscription? They don't even have to put their credit card number in again. They just have to push a button again and say, yes, I want this one. I want this one. So if you have a core membership, and there's a few add-ons and people buy them kind of ad hoc at different times, it's like keep using PayMarshals Pro. It's not that big a deal to ask someone to push a button. If your membership was set up that you really needed like 12 different separate subscriptions and people need to be able to check out once for all 12 at one time, it's kind of, we were bending what the gateway's intended to begin with. And now it's kind of, we're going to support it for a year or more, but you should start thinking about another solution so that, hopefully that makes sense. It's very technical, and for like reach out to the support team and we're going to be walking through things.
I'll add that with the gateway managing the subscription, you also unlock the ability to use a tool like not Metric. What's the other one that's similar to that? ProfitWell or something like that. And then also just the gateway's built-in reporting on your revenue. So it's just an option if you ever want to look at things on the gateway side and see what their reports are. With WooCommerce subscriptions, because the payments are triggered from your site, all of that data is inaccurate. There's no like real like Stripe, show me how many subscriptions I have, show me how much money I'm getting tomorrow. We think kind of logic. So I'm glad we've always done it that way. I like it, and it's unique among the membership platforms. Green Ann Center asked if there was an improvement in the relationship with Stripe subscriptions. I brought that up because Jason was talking about this, but we've also merged another premium add-on into V3.0, which is our Stripe billing limits add-on. And this is a way that people can set up an installment plan for a very high ticket membership. So if you had a plan that's $1,200 for a year and you wanted people to pay you in 3 installments and then maintain that membership through the year, previously you needed to use an add-on to do that. Now that's part of core. So you can set up a payment plan for your membership that's like an installment, breaks it down into 3 payments, and then membership is maintained ongoing from there. So you'll see that. We can demo that later where that field is located in the edit membership level settings.
It's live on .org now, so people maybe these things get cached. So
I need to be able to install it from my site.
Yeah, I'm testing that right now. So
okay,
we'll see. Install, activate, and I'm in the wizard. So you should be able to install through .org. And we're gonna look into that download thing. That's kind of weird that broke, but
yeah.
Or like so what broke was I downloaded the zip file and then I uploaded it through like add plugin, upload plugin.
Okay.
And it's possible on some servers if your upload limit is low, like lower than 8 megabytes, you can't do it that way. So I don't know what like the typical hosting upload limits are these days.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Jason, you want to add? You want to drop off? We'll get into using the tool a little bit, setting up a brand new 3.0 site.
I'm excited.
Not to kick you out.
Be back on in the afternoon. Sure.
Yeah, if you want to tune in around 3 o'clock, Jason's going to come back and we're going to try to paint a picture of what the future looks like. Because a lot of this groundwork, we're already thinking what's 3.1. People are joking, what's 4.0, what's 5.0 in the team. And we don't like to do roadmaps and promise features that are coming, but a lot of this work in 3.0 is foundation for things we know that we're going to be doing next in this year. So Jason are going to speak to some of that at 3 o'clock today for the last half hour of our stream day.
Sweet. Have fun.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
See you, Jason.
See ya.
It's hard not to just want to answer everyone's questions. What do you think,
Yeah.
Sam?
Oh, I think we need to balance it a little bit. I think we should
Okay.
do some demos and then we
Do
can
some
jump
demos?
back into
Okay.
questions, and I'll do my best to keep up with where we're at.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to this is a brand new site. I'm going to install Paid Memberships Pro. Perfect. And activate. So it's never been set up before. This is not an upgrade from a previous version. We can probably do that in another demo site we have if I can dig one up that's outdated. But initial setup is just like before in 3.0. Nothing changed here. You can set what type of membership site you're creating, which just helps you get some recommended add-ons for your use case. Generate the required plugin pages. I'm going to be collecting payments. Actually, I'm going to set that up manually. All right. And I don't have a key. I'm not going to add a key. We'll add a level later. We make the defaults for Paid Memberships Pro still in 3.0. I rallied against it, but we kind of, it's our motto and our intention that we err on the side of protection always. So when you install Paid Memberships Pro, or if you go into advanced settings later, you have the option to set up how protected content is displayed to non-members, whether it's shown or completely hidden, whether an excerpt of that content is shown or completely hidden. You're all seasoned Paid Memberships Pro people watching this, I think, so you know these settings exist, but we still continue to err on the side of protection. So if somebody doesn't change these settings, they can protect a post or page, and they know that it's not going to be at all visible to the public outside of the memberships. So, but I like to change them because, go ahead.
I'm seeing a lot of familiar names and tags and handles and things. So I definitely think that we're talking to like the people who know PMPro.
Yes. All right. So that's that. We've set up the thing. So now let's look at the new, the admin got an overhaul. For so long, we were like, let's look as much like WordPress as possible. Let's make our settings pages and our dashboards as familiar to people using WordPress as possible. We're still very close to that, but we're starting to get our own identity outside of what WordPress settings screens look like. And a lot of that is because WordPress itself is evolving so much. The admin's getting a design overhaul. Sites that are using full site editing or the site editor have a completely different admin experience. So you're gonna see Paid Memberships Pro over the next year and further create its own identity in the admin and also in the front end of the site. We're going to stop trying to look as much like your theme as possible and get more opinionated. Of course, you'll be able to disable it, but that's kind of where we're at right now. We're trying to just make people have the most beautiful admin experiences and most usable membership interfaces as possible right from the get-go, without any custom CSS, without any special logic. So really, the site's brand new setup. We're going to just view and set up our membership levels. We already set up that free level, and you'll see this is what's new in 3.0, what's called level groups. So I saw a question from Rep, explain the difference between level groups and levels. So level groups is how we define if the levels within the groups allow people to have multiple levels or only one per. So classic Paid Memberships Pro always assumed like tiered membership access. People would never hold more than one level at a time. That's like our site. We have a free level, a standard level, and a plus. And as you go up in those levels, the features and the options you get increase. And no one would ever hold both free and plus or free and standard at one time. So that's the users can only choose one level from this group. So if you didn't have multiple memberships per user before, all of your existing membership levels will be put into a main group. You can change the name of this, and users can only choose one level. If I wanted to edit that group, we just call it main group because it needs a name. You could change that label. It's not shown on the front end. It is shown on the front end if you're using the default levels shortcode or block. So you can change the level group. And then here's that setting when you edit the group, allow multiple selections. Allow users to choose multiple levels from this group, and then leaving unchecked to only hold one level. Why would you want multiple selections in a group? We're using it on our site to sell a course. So I created a new level group. I called it courses, and I'm going to add a single level for every one-time course purchase we're going to offer. They could be subscription levels. They don't have to be one-time levels. But I'm using that course level group to say people can buy more than one of the things in this group. But my primary group for this site, I'm going to make it just tiered, and then we'll add a new level. Let's add a group that allows multiple. We'll call this coaching plans. And we'll make this choose multiple. So now we have 2 level groups set up. Your site won't look like this by default unless you're upgrading. So like Katie, your site, if you're already using MMPU, this should stay the same. It'll just be like a slight improvement in the look and feel. You can delete level groups if you create one, but you can only do that if there's no levels within the group. So you'll have to move levels manually. So let's add a level to our primary group. We'll just make this a monthly level. And then here you'll see a new setting. Which group is this a part of? It gets pre-selected because I added the level from the group listing, but you can decide here if you change your mind or want to move a level later, edit it and change which primary group it's a part of, which group it's a part of. This is a monthly level, $25 per month. And then this is that billing cycle limit. This existed before v3.0, but it didn't work for Stripe without an additional add-on. So now that's merged in. You might have seen it if you had Stripe as your gateway, tried to use this setting, you would see a warning, Stripe doesn't currently support billing limits. Get the Stripe billing limits add-on. So now that's part of core. That warning won't exist. And that add-on, if you had it in your site, will automatically deactivate itself, and you can delete it from your site now that it's part of core. There's nothing else that's really changed here. Expiration settings are all the same. I'll talk briefly about, we talked about add-ons in the afternoon. One thing that's new also is the cancel on next payment date add-on was merged in. So for example, this is a $25 per month level. I'll demonstrate what that looks like. But before, you needed a premium add-on to allow people to cancel membership, but it would maintain through their current payment period. So if I bought this plan today, I paid you $25, I should get the next month's worth of access. Without the cancel on next payment date add-on, if I went to cancel, I was like, I don't want this anymore. It would just cancel me immediately and I would lose my access immediately. Now built into Core Paid Memberships Pro, if I purchase this today, go cancel it tomorrow, it's going to give me membership expiration through the next payment date. So my whole month of membership, I'll still have access for. We hope that reduces people reaching out for refunds and account questions. It's kind of how most subscription services I use work. When you cancel, it's like, okay, you have membership for Spotify until April 1st, and we're not going to bill you again. So now that's all built right into Core Paid Memberships Pro. So we have this level. Just like before, you can drag and drop levels to reorder them. That changes how the levels appear on the front end of your levels page if you're using the default shortcode or block. It also changes the order they appear when you're protecting content, the list of required membership levels. So helpful to do that if you need to move some things around. Let's add a level to this coaching plans. We'll make it one-time payment. How much should we charge for 3 hours of coaching? $1,500. We won't make it. Well, should we make it? We won't make it expire. I feel like if I was doing this as a real site, yeah. Create some sites. Don't make it expire. Okay, so now we have 2 level groups, and we have 2 levels in each group. Any questions popping up in anyone in the chat right now, Sam, related to how levels and level groups work?
No, nothing related to that.
Okay. So that's like the biggest thing that's like the MMPU, and we can demonstrate that on the front end of the site. So let me set up a payment gateway just so we can make real checkouts. I'm going to enter my API keys. I have these open in a different tab. Hold on. Oh, it wants my password. Hold on. Okay. I'll set up this. Actually, it's going to let me set up the webhook once I save this, I think. Create webhook. Cool. Okay. So yeah, nothing new here. The Stripe settings are all the same as they were. And we have our webhook set up now. Okay. All right. So let's go to the front end of our site and we'll do a checkout and then we'll get some members in there and then we can actually see what the new edit member screen looks like. So this is the default members page. It's using the short code PMPro levels. So this is just default Pay Memberships Pro. If you were using the advanced levels page shortcode, it still works with version 3.0. Just you won't have to make any changes to that. There are some new blocks we're going to talk about in the afternoon to help you build this page right in to Pay Memberships Pro. So let's check out for our supporters membership. I don't have any user fields set up yet in this site, and it's just a really simple checkout experience. I'm going to turn off autofill. All right. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. This is a Stripe testing credit card. It's still showing me. Are you guys seeing my modal with my credit cards?
It doesn't give much information.
Okay.
We just see the option that you can use your OnePass or whatever you use.
Okay. So I just did a Stripe test checkout with the testing cards through Stripe to set up a membership with a recurring level. I'm going to also go back to that levels page and buy one of those one-off coaching plans just so we can see in the admin what it looks like for a user with multiple levels in level groups. Okay. So now what's different? I have 2 levels now. So this is 2024 theme. It's not really styled to look nice with Paid Memberships Pro, but we are going to do a lot of front-end stuff for version 3.1 and further. But I'm logged in as an admin, but I have 2 different membership levels. I have supporters and I have a 3 hours coaching. I can change either one. I can cancel a single membership and I can update billing information for the one that's recurring. For the one that is non-recurring, I don't see any billing information because it's not active. It's not actively recurring the pricing for this one. It's just a one-time payment. And just like before, I can see my individual invoices for each checkout that I made in the site. I'm not going to cancel. We'll come back and cancel it later so you can see what that experience looks like. But otherwise, this profile page, everything is the same as it was. So let's go into the admin and look at what this member looks like. So there's a few ways to get to the edit member screen. You can, as the user you're logged in as, you'll see it now in the upper right. You'll see a link to edit member. That'll take me to the screen. Or if I go to memberships members, I'm going to see a list. And we debated back and forth about this, but this is different from how MMP used to work. Now you're going to see every membership's member, every member's membership as a single row in the table. And that's so we can give you really good information that's just a high level view. Who's paying me on a subscription, what level they're holding, just distinctly. And if you needed to drill into a single one and see a single list per, you can filter by a specific level, and then you'll only see one user in that row. So you can get to the edit member again from just as the user you're logged in as, or from your members list for the users. So rather than going to the WordPress edit user screen by default, when you used to click a user's name, it would take you to the edit user screen. Now it's going to always take you back to the edit member screen. And I'm calling this kind of a CRM light, CRM, customer relationship management. There's lots of plugins and lots of expensive third-party tools that try to give you like a full picture of a person that is in your Nexus, right? We're trying to create something similar to that. I don't know how far this will evolve into what CRM really is, but for now it's this edit member screen. So let's look at it. If I click on the user, I'm going to get to a new screen. That's not the edit user screen. We'll show that. That's like a complex WordPress. Lots of plugins add things to this, and it was hard for sites to like find like, where's the membership stuff? So we do have a summarized view of membership on the edit user screen, just to give you a portal into the edit member page. This takes you into the single member screen, or you can click view and edit member here. Some of our add-ons will still be hooking into the edit user screen. We're slowly moving them to have a panel on this because this is a pluggable screen. So like our group accounts, for example, it has some features that used to be on the edit user screen. That one has been updated and released. So now there's a new panel for their group memberships or group accounts that'll show up here. Lock membership level is also another one that adds a tab here. So any add-ons that we're the authors of are going to slowly be moving their settings from the user screen, which is like, I can't find it, hunting around, to this CRM, this very focused screen. So I am my own user, but I'm also logged in as an admin. We could be looking at someone else. I can add content here. Member notes is a new component here in 3.0. This was part of our add member admin add-on, which we're moving some of the features into core and kind of feeling out what that add-on continues to look like. But member notes is just a private way for you to add some context. Remind their dog's name is, anything that you want to just log. It's really useful for sites that used to have like an offline membership or a very personal connections to things. But you can just add notes there. There's free text only visible to you and people who can manage members also. So you can get over to that edit user screen pretty easily right here. And then the memberships tab is what you used to manage on the single user edit screen, is now its own tab here. And it gives me a view of what membership levels this person's holding in each group. So all of your level groups will show up here as different sections, and then you can manage and change memberships for that user within the context of this screen. So I can edit it to set an expiration date, to cancel the subscription. I can cancel it here, which will immediately cancel the membership, which allows me to do a refund or cancel the subscription, or I can change it to another level within this same group. So changing only exists in the one level per, that tiered membership component. So you can change them down to free. You really don't do that. I don't know. You can change within the group with the change setting. Would you want to change to free? You probably want to, well, let's see. If you change them to free, oh yeah, and then you can do the refund and cancel. So that's like the one-stop shop. If someone emails you, I don't want this anymore, I didn't know I was being rebilled, just downgrade me to your free level, give me my money back, cancel my subscription. So that can all be done from this section here. And then in the multiple levels groups, you can, of course, edit or cancel a single membership, or you can add another one. Let's say that you billed them offline, you sent them an invoice, and they mailed you a check or they paid you directly via wire transfer for this. You can add their membership here through this add membership thing. If you wanted to give someone 7 days trial of some add-on package or add-on thing in your site, try my course for 3 days, add it, let them have a little bit of a sneak peek access, you would do that here. And just like before, oh, go ahead.
Real quick, Kim, to jump in.
Yep.
Those of you that have asked questions before we started our demo, David Parker is in the chat. He is helping us out with some of these questions. So he is part of our team. He is not only a PMPro user, but he really heavily helped build 3.0. So if you see a message answering your questions from David, it is our team. I just wanted to let everybody know that we had.
David, are you wearing your shirt? We went out to David and his wife last night and we gave him his shirt.
Oh, fun.
Yes. So yeah, David is like the person, probably made the first commits to 3.0 branch in, I think it was June
of 2020, I believe is what it was.
2020, 2021?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was 21? I don't know. But
I think it was
2020. Definitely. David's been with us since he graduated college, and he is the lead developer and definitely the spearhead, the organizer, and kept 3.0 moving in a positive direction. This is a big day for David and all of us, but really big day for David.
He's more than welcome to jump online with us too. He's more than welcome.
He's more than welcome. So yeah, membership history, you'll still see all the changes logged, just like before. You had that tab on your edit user screen buried somewhere on that screen. I'm not going to talk it down too much, but I am excited. I know the people who do account management for Paid versus Pro memberships have been loving this new screen. They're just like, oh, I love it. All right.
Yes.
It says I had changes, but I don't. All right, hold on. Why does it say I updated the user? Oh, I did update the user. We should get rid of that. That's a good note, David. Maybe take the user updated out when we navigate tabs. Anyway, so this subscription is the new subscriptions table, why we have these shirts, and it lets you see all of the active and canceled subscriptions for the member with that next payment date. And it's very specific down to the minute when the next payment's coming due. So you might want to reference this sometimes. That's just something if you're feeling insecure about your setup and you want to see like, oh, is it going to bill them again? Are they really continuing to pay me? And then you can see their fee. What's awesome about the fee is if you go into Stripe and change the price, it's going to send it back to the site the next time you sync the subscription. So the member will always see their accurate price. We've had issues in the past where people like cancel or change a membership pricing, change the membership's pricing, and then on the site it shows up as like free or the old price. And we gave people CSS like, oh, just hide that. That price isn't right. The gateway is right. Now we have a really tight sync between the two. So from your memberships tab, you can view details about the subscription that's linked to the membership. If there is one, a one-time payment won't have a subscription. And then also from the subscriptions, you can see their active subscriptions, view all related orders for a single subscription that have come through, or click to view details just about this single subscription. So let's take a look at that. I'll come back to the edit member screen.
That I think is really cool is the subscription syncs down to the minute.
It's
really
not
cool. To the day. It's down to the minute that they checked out originally with their subscriptions.
Yep. And when the new one comes in, we'll update that date. So I in the release notes post, I have some things like ideas we have for reporting that'll be built into Paid Memberships Pro or offloaded as some kind of hosted reporting tool that we can offer you. So you can get predictive information about how you're getting paid. It can predict and analyze what's your churn, what number of people, what's expected to process in revenue. And that really helps people with business decision making. Yes, you can get some of that information from the gateway, but if you're using, let's say like us, we use PayPal and Stripe, nothing is synthesizing that data into one reporting tool for you. So I look forward to what kinds of reports we can make for you related to like all these subscriptions are in the retries phase. Like how informative would that be for you as a membership site manager to know I need to reach out to Kim and Sam and David and Jason because they're all, for some reason, they didn't make their payment and it's coming due in 5 more days. So to give people those kinds of windows, as much as the automated systems send out notices, sometimes you want a personal touch and a personal outreach. So I'm excited for any reports we can make for that. So this is a single subscription. From this screen, you can trigger a cancellation. You can sync it with the gateway, which is like, get me updated information about this. If you change the price, let's say, or anything else, you might like skip a payment or you might pause the subscription. You can do a sync here. The date it was created, that first checkout, which is today, oh, my site's time zone is funny. That's why it says 2:06 p.m. I'm like, that's not what time it is. Maybe I can change that quick. There, nice. And the next payment date when the gateway will be processing the next payment, what they're paying, the fee, which I said how tight and sync that's kept, and then also click over to see all the orders related to that subscription. There's just one here. And then this payment gateway information is the useful cross-check, gives you that idea if you want to look it up in your Stripe, what gateway was used, and if it was a sandbox environment or test, which this one is. So when sites are running both PayPal and Stripe, or maybe you're running PayPal, the manual payment gateway, which is new, we'll talk about in the afternoon, and Stripe, PayPal, you'll know which gateway each one is and be able to view that data. So I'm going to go back to the edit member screen. I'm not going to play around with this too much. And then the orders tab, just a list of all the orders, the single payments that have been made. You can navigate again to that single subscription page or back to the edit order screen, which was always part of Paid Memberships Pro, just got like a little bit of an upgrade and then another way to link back to the subscription individually. Someone asked if user fields will show up on the screen. I saw that sneakily. I'm going to add some user fields and we'll show how they show up. Show on user profile fields, yes for admins. Dog name. I always go animals. I think it's just the most benign thing I can think of.
Who doesn't love animals?
All right, and then we're going to add another field group. We'll make this one hobbies. Okay, that's probably enough. Okay, so on our edit member screen now, you'll see it adds additional tabs here. Panels. I think we should call them panels, Sam. Make sure every time I say tabs,
all of my
spark me into
documentation that
panels.
has been pre-written is panels.
Panels. So it'll add a panel for every unique user field group you have. So we have one called more information. Let's just call this pet information. Okay, so pet information and hobbies and interests. So you can, as admin, have these fields visible to you. They're also going to show up on the user front end profile page. Did I do that? I think I made one group. Oh, I made one group show up on the front end. Well, let's just have everybody. Okay. So now the user themselves can edit their profile information and these profile fields from the front end of the site, and you as admin can view them as individual panels here. Add-ons will add panels here. I mentioned that. And then one other thing that will be added is there like a TOS page? Yeah, let's publish this. No, I don't. How do you publish it from here? You can't.
If you go to, I don't think you have to actually publish it, that page. You have to turn it on in the advanced settings to require it.
Yeah, but why did it like schedule it to publish right now? That's weird. All right, are you published? Okay. There's another panel that'll show up related to, is that a payment setting?
I think it's an advanced setting.
It's an advanced setting? Okay. Oh, here, terms of service. Okay, so if you're requiring terms of service agreement at checkout, that'll also add a panel to the member. I don't know if it'll show up for me until I have agreed to it. Oh, there it is. So it'll also show TOS consent history as its own panel here. So that's kind of, and if you want to build a custom screen here, you can do that. If it's like just custom information you want to show, this is only accessible to you as the manager, as the administrator of the site, and for people that have the capability. What's the capability? David, what did we decide on? Is it edit member? I want to get the right capability name. So if people do have custom roles, this one. PMPro edit members is the new capability in 3.0, right? That's the one that gives people access to view and manage memberships on this screen. So if people don't have that capability, they won't be able to do things that you might need them to do, like manage memberships, process refunds, edit and cancel people from that screen. So update your custom roles, make sure that that's a part of their capability suite in the site. Cool. All right, questions, anything right now?
I mean, David's doing pretty good at handling a lot of the questions. And one question I saw related to the edit member screen was the custom fields, which you just went over. So I think we can keep rocking and rolling.
They'll still show, custom fields will also still show on the edit user screen in WordPress because they are technically user meta fields, which is a WordPress database stored information. So they'll show up on both places, both on the edit member screen and this edit user screen. Cool. All right, I want to show let's protect some content. And then we'll show, so just like before, require membership. The only thing that changed about this, it used to be a meta box, and now we're upgraded into the WordPress React panel WordPress block editor experience. So now you'll see it's moved up. It used to be below all of this because it was a different type of meta box, but now it's here. So just like before, you can protect a piece of content for members only. A new feature in 3.0 is a way to toggle as admin between your views. So you'll see this new toolbar item, view with access. and you can change how you want to preview the piece of page or post. The whole session really, it persists as a person with or without access. So I already have membership access. I can view it with my current levels, which those 2 levels we checked out for, or I can view it without membership access. So this would allow me as admin, without having to log out, without having to open an incognito browser, to preview this page if a non-member was hitting that page and what experience they would see. So it shows that protected content message. It's just faking my session to say, oh, you pretend you don't have access. What does that look like? So be mindful of this. It's kind of something you can forget. You could be like, wait, I have access. Why can't I see it? Just be mindful of what you've adjusted this to, because it's not just for that one page load. It's stored as your user. As you navigate around the site, it gets stored. So, so that you can really preview that whole experience as a non-member or as a member.
Kim, I'm gonna jump in real quick here. Just be mindful, we cannot see the drop-down options when you click down. So we only can see them if you individually click into them. And then the other thing is we do have a question. Does the view with access work for those with PMPro edit member capability? It's for admin only, right?
That. I wonder. I feel like it's for admin only. Let's check the code. No.
Maybe if we can't find it, David can jump in and tell us. I want to say it's for admin only, because if I remember my documentation correctly, it was like admin view as access.
But it would be nice to make it a capability that people
changed.
Here it is.
Yeah, David said view as, I think, is admin only. So.
Yeah, current user can manage options. So it is an administrator level feature. But we'll keep that in mind if you want people who have your edit member capability to be able to do it. I guess people who are editors of the site might be playing with content access. So I could see allowing people to more roles or a specific capability to be able to have that feature. Yeah. We'll keep it in mind. It helps to look at the code. All right, I'm doing with my current access now. Okay, awesome. I'll demonstrate the merged cancel on next payment date feature. So we bought this supporter memberships today. If I go to cancel, it says, are you sure you want to cancel this membership? Yes, cancel this membership. And now my recurring subscription has been canceled, but my active membership will expire on April 25th. So it'll show me now I'm not being billed. I have an expiration date. And I can cancel it again, which would immediately cancel it if someone was like, no, I really, really, really want to cancel this membership. But that's built into Core Paid Memberships Pro now. I hope that helps people not have to manually help people do that. And then obviously you don't have to pay for a premium add-on anymore now that that's part of Core. All right. I'm going to show, because we just did that, something that used to be with Paid Memberships Pro. Before we had subscriptions table, we kind of loosely managed membership through the orders. And it didn't really make sense. We would set an order status to canceled. I know there was some person a while back when we talked about doing away with the canceled status that was not happy. They were using it for some reporting in their own tools, but really it misled people to believe that the payment was a failure or the payment was refunded or the payment didn't actually happen, when really it was a successful paid order. So we've done away with the canceled status. When you upgrade to 3.0 from a prior version, all of your orders statuses that were as canceled are going to be marked as success, because that's really what the orders were. We have an article about order statuses in Paid Memberships Pro. We're going to be updating that, removing that canceled status comment in there, and all of the language where we tried to explain it away why we did that. But it was really because that was the only way we would know that the subscription was canceled at the gateway. Now we have the subscriptions table, which manages and reports on whether the subscription is active or inactive, canceled. So we don't have to manage it loosely through orders anymore. So this order in a PMPro 2.12 prior version, the status would have been canceled, but now it stays, where is it? Do we even show it here? I don't even know if we show it here anymore. Oh, here, it stays as success. And you'll see there's no canceled status anymore
We can't see the
available.
drop downs, Kim.
Oh, that's right. Can you see that it says success?
We can see that it says success.
Okay.
Yeah, we just can't see the options when you click down.
Okay.
for
So
us to see.
that will not, like, technically in the database, this is still a successful order. It was not refunded and it was a paid order. So it was a successful order. The subscription itself is canceled, and we can show that in the admin now what that looks like. I know you can't see my drop downs, but I can still do within status filters. But canceled is not a part of that drop down anymore. Just, success, error, token, the ones that actually provide useful information to you as the membership site admin. I'm going to show this member that got canceled. Now you'll see, rather than having a subscription here, because there is none anymore, I have still their start date, and then I have their end date, which is their expiration, the date that the membership will expire. If I go into the individual memberships, you'll see there's no more subscription active for this user. It shows their expiration date is coming. And then when I view the subscriptions now, instead of having active, this is a canceled subscription that ended when we click the button to end it. And if I view the individual subscription, you'll see that it's canceled in this site. You'll still have all the reference information just like before, but you'll see that it's a canceled subscription. They're not going to be billed again. And obviously link back to the orders. So that's order status changes. That's part of that upgrade script that'll happen when you upgrade to Paid Memberships Pro. I think if there's anything else in the admin I want to show, I don't want to get into the blocks yet, even though that's really fun stuff.
Just because you kind of glossed over it, just reiterating the distinction between the order status, canceled is no longer an option. It's no longer a thing. But within the subscription, it does say canceled.
Yes. Subscriptions can be canceled and memberships can be canceled. But orders cannot be canceled. It was just wrong of us to have called it that ever. But it is what it is. You'll see the membership history didn't change. It just updated that has an end date now. And even in the Stripe side, can I even pull that up? Oh, that was my other testing when I was Denzel. You'll see, yeah, it matches what the gateway reports it as canceled for the subscription. You can't turn it back on. We could show changing the price of a subscription. Let's do that.
Yeah, and somebody asked about grandfathering people in a price if you change.
Yeah, so when I have to really cancel my membership. If you change the price of the level in Paid Memberships Pro, it will not and cannot automatically change the price for everyone that currently holds that membership level. Payment gateways don't like you to do that. They don't want you to change prices and increase them, or even, you can lower them, but even that, it's not something we're going to code batch logic for. But in a one-to-one, you can do some changes at the gateway to adjust the price that someone's paying for your site, or, skip a payment, or all kinds of things you can do. I'm going to actually cancel this fully. Cancel. Okay. What was I going to show? Changing the price at the gateway. And then I want to show the billing page, Sam. Remind me after that how that's changed. Okay. None of these are required.
Now you have me racking my brain on what changed on the billing page and if I missed something.
Nothing major.
I've been away from work for too long.
Okay, so I have a subscription. I'm paying you $25 per month. In Stripe, Nope, I want to change it on the subscription. Let's say you wanted to reduce your prices. David, we did this on a call once, right? Here. Didn't we? We showed how you can change this price actions. That's the next invoice. That's the pricing. Wasn't metadata. I forget where we did update subscription. Let's try that. Oh, here. Okay. Is this it? David will know. No? We did do this. What's that? Copy. Edit price. But it doesn't let me edit it. Why is that, do you think? Do we do it on the invoice? Maybe we did it on the invoice before. Now I won't find it. Oh, well. If you remember, David, that's the invoice. That's the same one. We did it once. All right. I'll make a liar out of myself. Because we did it for people in our own site. That's the invoice. That's that. It's not this. What's metadata? I don't know what that is. Update, pause, share, exclude from auto cancellation. I don't remember. We did it once. Oh, well, ignore. All right. I wanted to demonstrate how the sync works. What else would be cool to demo about that? I don't know. Maybe it's too far out or because it's created on the day it is. Oh, well, ignore. We're not demonstrating that. So the billing thing I wanted to show, because people have multiple memberships, billing is now linked to the single subscription they have rather than all of their payments. So in PayMentorship Pro 212 and prior, a single payment subscription is set up for the user's membership. So the billing information page was just where do you update the billing for the one membership level you hold. Now the billing info, it has to know which subscription am I updating for. And that's so people can pay with different payment methods for each one, and just how the gateway connection with PayMentorship Pro works. So you'll see in this 2024 theme, when I installed and activated PayMentorship Pro, it's just designed to put every page in the menu. So you might have a menu like this that has membership billing in the main menu of the site. You're going to want to remove that because it's going to always redirect. Oh, does it not if I only have one recurring billing? Did we do it? Did we do that differently, David? I thought it would only work if maybe it's just if I have more than one memberships.
I love how you're talking to the invisible David.
Let's see if I have 2 monthly levels, community. I thought that it would redirect away if it didn't know.
He's DMing me links.
Okay. I'm going to sign up for a second recurring membership just so we can see if maybe it only does that if the person has more than one.
Kim, I'm putting in our private chat the
Okay.
link for modifying payment subscriptions in Stripe like you were trying to do.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So now that's pretty smart how that works.
Getting
the membership billing page
from the pipeline.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure David has sent me this before. Oh, it's our own article. I probably wrote it. All right, we'll try that in a moment. But now I got the membership billing thing I wanted to work. So I love that it's smart. If the person has only one, if the member has only one recurring subscription with you, the membership billing page will load and just update that one subscription. If they have more than one, it's going to redirect back to the membership account page because it doesn't know which billing to update from. So I wouldn't put a link to membership billing in your menu. Most of the time, it's better that it originates from the membership account page. They locate the membership they actually want to update and click the update billing from there. But if you were like I was a moment ago, a site that only really, if people only ever hold one recurring membership at a time, they never have multiple recurring memberships active in your site, you could leave that link there, and the logic is smart enough to know. But me, if I click this link now, I'm just going to come right back to the membership account page. But I can update individual subscription billing by clicking from that membership account section here, update billing info, and it'll update for the specific access. It tells you what you're paying and which level you're updating your payments for. All right, should we try this again? Modifying payment subscriptions in Stripe. Update subscription, add product, and then remove another one. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Disable prorate changes, update. The desired price does not exist. Click add new product. Okay, let's do that. Scenario. We decided our supporters membership should be $12.50 a month, not $25 per month. And we want people who are already paying us that. We had like 10 early people that were like, oh, I'll pay you that. We want to honor that new price for them. So we're going to change their subscription and lower the price. So here's this supporter subscription. So the steps are locate the subscription under pricing. Oh, update subscription. Add a product. Let's add a new one. Add supporters as a new product. $12.50 recurring monthly. Add the product. And then we'll remove this one. And we're not prorating. We're charging their card on file. Oh, undo the prorate. Okay. And then it'll keep their same payment date. Update subscription. So on the site, it looks like Kim is still paying us $25 per month, but in reality, it's $12.50. How do we get that to look right? How do we get that fixed? So for this, you would go to the edit member screen for that user. I have too many tabs open. Close, close, close. Oh, open that one again. I think you can kind of increase people's prices this way, but I'm not going to advertise that too much because it's dangerous. And I don't know if even if Stripe lets you do it, the credit card processor might not. So if you change the price from $25 a month to like $37.50, the credit card company might be like, okay, sure. Like that's a reasonable price increase. I'll allow it. You've probably had that happen to you before. You've been paying for something and all of a sudden the bill is higher than it used to be. You know, then you dig through email and you're like, oh, Spotify emailed me 3 months ago to tell me premium was going up $10 per month. And it just happened behind the scenes without you knowing or approving. This is the wrong subscription to edit. This is the one I want to edit. So you might be able to get away with some small increases if you want to do that. It's going to be a manual process. We're not building tools. No one's talked about building tools to allow that to happen. But certainly you can downgrade them. So this still says it's $25 per month. If I click sync with gateway here, it should get the new value and show that it's $12.50 per month. And that's that subscriptions table in action, keeping things exactly correct to what the person's actually paying you. For years, people have had the incorrect number show up on this screen and we tell them to ignore it, or we give them the CSS I mentioned earlier to like hide that column of this table. Now you can sync the subscription and whatever change you made at the gateway side is reflected in the data that your site knows about that subscription. So thank you for that link, David. Modifying payment subscriptions in Stripe, you would edit updates of subscription, add a new product, and potentially remove the other one from the site. I'm curious if people can do more with that, if they can add a separate product and start charging someone more, bulk things in. You'll see how that works. It won't stay in great sync with your site. Let's say we were talking earlier about merging subscriptions into one payment at a time. It wouldn't work that way with Paid Memberships Pro. For example, if you wanted to add community coaching access and supporters and have them be billed in the same transaction, managed with the same subscription at the gateway, it would not work. If that canceled, all Paid Memberships Pro knows is that supporters is linked to that subscription ID. They would maintain their community access if supporters canceled. So that may not be clear and make sense, but I think don't get too creative and use it only to change the price of the single membership attached to it, and not to get too funky with bulking other things in.
And then on the syncing with the gateway, David said that it's good to note that you do not have to actually go in and manually push the sync button. We did for this demo to show that it would update, but the next recurring payment that comes in, it will automatically sync.
Yes. So when
so you
April
don't have
25th
to update it
rolls around, yeah,
and then go hit sync. It will automatically talk to each other.
yes. So we wait till April 25th, and then that payment would come in. It would be $12.50, not $25, and it would create the order for $12.50 in the site, and it would update the subscription. So the user's information on this screen we're looking at here would be correct, and also here in your site would be correct. Yeah. Anything else?
Will this work if they're paying in a different currency?
How did they start paying you in a different currency?
We
Pro can only be in one. Go ahead.
Yeah, Katie said we used to charge in GBP, then changed to USD. All long-term members had issues with the $ symbol appearing in the billing amount.
Yeah. Paid Memberships Pro can only operate in one currency at a time. So when you changed your currency, the default currency in your site, it just assumed everyone else was paying you in US dollars also. I mean, it's also fluctuating too. So if the subscriptions in Stripe were set up to settle as pounds, then I don't know that you could update that, but you could potentially change people's subscriptions to bill in USD on the Stripe side by adding the USD product. I would say get their approval for that though, because they might incur foreign transaction fees and things like that. Yeah. Multi-currency is not great yet.
Yeah, Katie also added a feature suggestion that it would be really helpful to be able to offer country-specific pricing and currencies.
We are working on that. We do have we have a repo and we're using it on our own site. PMPro local pricing. So it still processes all payments in US dollars, but it looks up the IP, it geolocates the person at checkout, and you can set up logic to say, okay, if the main feature of this is that the price gets updated to show loosely what their local currency would be. So this part doesn't do any of the discounting. There's other logic that does that. But this local pricing is kind of just a feature we're working with on our own site. We have like specialized pricing for people in certain countries where the cost of living, our membership is like a prohibitively expensive based on the cost of living in these countries. So just to give specialized pricing for people across the world. And this one will show the price in your local currency, relatively calculated. If it recognizes it's US dollars and the person's visiting you from a place that uses euros, it'll say that's about X euros. And then we have another recipe that says, okay, we recognize you're in South Africa. Here's a unique discount code that can apply to your order to make your pricing differently. So we haven't blogged about this yet, but if you're in support, I think they're starting to share the local pricing just as this only on GitHub. It's not on our site yet or documented anywhere, but we have ideas to wrap it up.
Yeah, there's Alex Baker is seconding the clean currency pricing. For example, they want to offer pricing at like $5 US, 5 euros, and then 8, I guess, Canada. I'm assuming CAD.
Canadian dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canadian dollars. And then Katie is having interest from members in the Philippines.
Yes.
So the USD is too expensive.
Yep. So the local pricing would show it in their native currency. And then the way we're doing it is we're just kind of suggesting a discount code to use. But Alex, you could absolutely detect that and change the membership price. It wouldn't charge them in euros or Canadian dollars, but it would adjust the real-time adjust the USD value to that equivalent at that moment. There's some gists that people have floating around for swapping currencies. It just makes all of the reporting in the back end of the site really screwed up. So it doesn't work great yet. I don't know. If anyone's used an add-on for another e-commerce and they find that it's really seamless and works wonderful, it would be good inspiration for us, but no idea yet.
Let's look at let's see, we talked about the admin interface, edit member screen, the multiple memberships and level groups, and the view as settings. So for the next 40 minutes, y'all have us to answer any questions that you have so far. And then in the afternoon session, we will be covering the block editor blocks updates that are there, and then the add-ons that support 3.0.
And they're all like, if you're curious, if you're using an add-on that was previously not compatible, David and the development team did a ton of work to make certain add-ons compatible that weren't previously. Like, I'll demonstrate proration in the afternoon. Proration was not formerly compatible with a multiple memberships environment, and now it is. So, I updated the meta, but I didn't update this, Sam. Sorry. We'll get there. That one released while you were out.
I can update that.
So they're all marked if they're compatible or not. If you're using an add-on and upgrade to 3.0 and unsure if your add-on is compatible, as long as you weren't using MMPU before, even though your site will now support that as an option for you, as long as your site is still in those 1 level per member setup, the add-ons all still work as they intend, as they were designed to work. It's really when you get into having multiple level groups and when people can hold more, when actually people can hold more than 1 level, that things get screwy with the add-ons, and you'll want to verify if they're compatible and what does compatibility mean. Because for some add-ons, it's not like, it's just compatible. Like nav menus, for example, is uniquely compatible with MMPU. And we'll talk about that later. I need to make a list of all the ones. If anyone's using a certain add-on and curious how it works with MMPU, just shout out that add-on name and we'll be sure to talk about it in the afternoon session.
Yeah. Neo Gothic Racing is asking about spam signups. Can you pull up the how to prevent spam post and run through like the settings and things that you can do?
So spam protection requires like a many-pronged attack on your side. Many different protections you can put in place, and they all have value and they're all important. We have several of these on our own site. And some stuff's built into Paid Memberships Pro. So this is a good article to read through. There's Sam. So I'll show where some of these settings are located and what's built into Paid Memberships Pro. So one of them is to set up reCAPTCHA, and that is either an invisible reCAPTCHA or like a challenge where people need to answer questions. And that's done on the advanced settings screen relating to checkout settings. You can set up reCAPTCHA for all of your memberships. Didn't this used to have free memberships only? Where'd that go? Maybe we realized you always need it. Probably. Even paid memberships can get spammed and do when people are trying to test cards. So it integrates with V2 or V3. reCAPTCHA is a free tool. It's offered by Google. There's some newer ones out there, like Cloudflare Turnstile is a new one. There's a free plugin on WordPress.org that has, let me find it, Paid Memberships Pro integration. We're considering to build Cloudflare Turnstile into core Paid Memberships Pro, but right now you can use this plugin by Elliot Soursby that does have Paid Memberships Pro built in. in their core free version. So if you would prefer to use Cloudflare Turnstile instead of CAPTCHA, use this plugin. Another way that we protect spam is we have it default on. We look at the person trying to check out, and if there's 10 failures in a very short window of time, we block them from checking out on the site. There's a filter to change the number of failures, I think, and the time frame to do that, but make sure this is enabled. It was not always built into Paid Memberships Pro, and it was not always enabled by default. So your site might have this set to no. It's very safe. Just turn it on yes. It's very unlikely that someone would try 10 times and be a good actor in your site.
I think there is a code recipe in that post to tighten it even more.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to.
Part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, look here.
Yeah.
So there's some constants you can define. We also have integration for Akismet, which is a plugin by Automatic. It's a free plugin in WordPress.org. You can use Akismet for free, or you can purchase paid access to Akismet, which is for commercial sites. And this integration validates information submitted at checkout against Akismet's spam library. I guess I would say they maintain filters that kind of look at the information that's being submitted and go, like this looks good, green light, red light, and flags fake looking information. That can have a false positive too. We saw some in our site. Some people have a unique membership site with some names that sound spammy, and they're actually real people. But it's just you win some, you lose some, and you're better off not having spam checkouts because it degrades like your seller with your payment gateway, your reputation with your gateway, and could cause them to flag you for spam. And even your email sending, if a lot of spam checkouts are happening in your domain or whatever service you're using to send email, not to mention it's just a nightmare to clean up in the admin of your site. If you have mostly free memberships, or you really want to make sure that the email addresses that people are signing up for accounts with are valid, you can require people to confirm their email address with this add-on approval process. We'll talk about locking in the afternoon because it has some cool 3.0 features. Expanding your checkout fields and requiring people to add more information at checkout can also be a spam deterrent. Maintaining plugins, security, yeah. So we'll put this in the chat, but Paid Memberships Pro has a few ways built in, and then some other things you can add on if you just really want to harden down, especially sites that are all free. The paid levels checkouts on your site are really detrimental for people doing card testing, but that built-in spam protection tries to take care of that. But for free signups, there's nothing stopping people from just using garbage email addresses and creating accounts. That's when you'd want that Akismet integration, or you would want the email confirmation add-on.
Yeah, and Jason said, just a note for you and I when we're updating things, to add Cloudflare to that post.
Oh, yeah, we should. And Elliot's.
Or similar, like Security Firewall.
Simple Cloudflare Turnstile. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyone can register. Paid Memberships Pro tries to, Katie's comment. There's a WordPress setting called anyone can register. It's called membership. That is not Paid Memberships Pro. But that is allowing WordPress's default register a user screens to allow registration. Paid Memberships Pro tries to redirect away from that WordPress user registration screen, but it might still be accessible to people. So you can safely leave that unchecked. So no one's just registering as a user in your WordPress site, and that they're always registering through the Paid Memberships Pro checkout process, which makes me think we should test some adding members admin stuff, Sam, if people don't have more questions right now.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
All right. So Paid Memberships Pro members, most of the time people are signing up for their own accounts, creating their own memberships from the front end of your site. They're visiting your homepage, they're seeing your call to action, they're getting a link from social media or an email, and going through the checkout process. But you as admin also have the ability to add members, create users and add memberships to them without them being charged, or if you're charging them in some other offline way. So I'm going to walk through a few ways to do that. We have a blog post about adding members as admin. We're going to be updating it because its interface has changed a little bit. for Paid Memberships Pro. But the number one way I give people, if they need to actually charge someone, like you're sitting at a desk at a conference and people are coming up to you and they want to sign up for your membership and they're giving you cash, there you can do it through the admin, or if they're giving you a credit card number, you can just set them up with the membership checkout experience. You can type it for them and enter their information and set up their subscription. So use your site as a member would is one of the best ways to do that. Log out of your admin account, visit your membership levels page, and just register people if you have their payment information. If you don't, you can now in Paid Memberships Pro 3.0, seeing this toolbar, does that show up?
Yes.
Okay, you can go to plus new member. So this is how you would create a user and give them a membership level through the admin of your site. This won't charge them. So if you have their credit card information, you need to charge them, process it on the front end, logged out of your site. If you're just setting them up because you want to give them a free month of membership, or they paid you in a check and you're going to give them a year because they gave you a year's worth of monthly membership fees, you're going to give them membership for a year just because they gave you a payment or Venmo'd you or whatever. So this is how you would do that. So the first step is creating the WordPress user for the site. You can optionally send them an email address because this user account has been created. You don't have to do this. The only thing I'll point out is some people would love that this included their unmasked password, and we won't do that. It's just not safe to send passwords around by email. The best thing is that the member just next time if they try to log in and access things, that they reset the password to something they know. A thing that people have done, which I also don't love, is just set their password to password and just and then say, like, I created it for you, Sam. Your password's password. Change it next time you log in. It's not great to do that because they might not change it next time they log in, and it just puts their account and your site at risk. So it's your choice how you do this. I think make a strong password. Don't tell it to them. Maybe you tell it to them if you want to, but it's not going to be emailed to them. There's a notice here that it will not send that unencrypted, I created this user. I don't know, make up notes that you want to put here. So first it creates the user, and now this is a user without memberships in your site, and you can add their memberships. So what was my scenario? I was going to give them supporters for a year. Well, that just worked. Oh, okay, just added a year. Cool. So March 2025, and then optionally I can send that email to notify them that their membership was added. It's not charging them. There's no order created for them. They have membership now. They're a user in your WordPress site. You'll see there's no orders here. They have no subscription because they're not paying me on a recurring basis. If I wanted an order just for my record keeping to exist for this user, I could do that here. It was done today. The user ID, it's for the supporters membership. We don't have a billing address. And what is it? 12 times 250 or 12 times 25, $300. Let's say they paid me $300. I could do that here. Venmo. None of this information is really used by the system. It's just going to help you have that connected. I'm going to show this pay by check thing then too. And there's no other information, And I can create that order. So now there's the member, let's go back to them, is created in the site. They have membership for a year because they paid me manually, and I have logged their order. So now that'll show up as like my reports on the site, like revenue and things made for me. So there is an add-on called Add Member from Admin. It does create the user and the membership in one step. It could feel like a cleaner process. Some people really like it, but we're trying to move people away from using that and rather get used to this more CRM-like interface to do these kinds of things for their site. I'll show, since I mentioned Venmo, that this is now in 3.0 also. The pay by check gateway is kind of flexible and can be renamed to another type of gateway. So here's this pay by check gateway. We can call this Venmo, and Pay me by Venmo. This is not our Venmo. Don't pay anyone through this. So if you wanted to offer like that, some people will do bank transfer here, and then they'll say, you know, my Swift code is, that's not a real Swift code. So if that was your payment gateway on the site, people would instead see that label when they make payments to you. It's not on this page, right? Just the instructions of how, oh, pay by bank transfer is here. So now this heading used to say pay by check, and then we would tell people like, just explain how it's done. So you can change that label to any other manual method that you want to offer. A lot of people do just accept like direct payment, direct debit, bank transfer, wire transfer as part of membership, especially for a $3,000 membership level. And in the afternoon, we'll demonstrate the pay by check, pay by manual payment add-on, and how that's been upgraded to be compatible with this new custom labeling, and how you can set up levels that are only allow that unique manual payment method. So we'll do that in the afternoon. So that's adding a member as an admin. I'll add that if you go to the members list, you can also click add new member here. Again, you can get to it from add new member, and also here, add new member. If the member already exists in your site, let's say you somehow got to the add member screen and you add a member that already exists, it will reference them, look them up, saying, did you mean to edit this person? We found a user with this email address already. Click here to edit this member, and it'll take you to the right screen for that existing user in the WordPress site. So we might improve that with some autocomplete, but right now, at least, you can quickly get to the right user that you want to edit if they exist in the site already for some reason.
And just to add, in case people are using the add member from admin add-on, when you upgrade
Mouthful.
it is a mouthful. When you upgrade to 3.0, the drop down that Kim was pointing at when above where it says new, there will be 2 options to add a new member. I believe the first one is for the 3.0 native option.
We're gonna try to
and
fix
then
that.
the second one is the add member from admin add-on option. So right now it is duplicated. Just in case you're taken to the add-on page instead of the 3.0 page, or if whichever one you want to use.
Yeah.
But
we don't know what the future of that add-on is. I know Jason has ideas and reasons why people need that feature.
But right now it is kind of like duplicated in that WordPress bar under new. Just so people know, because it right now is a little confusing. But it will get worked out in the wash. And then let's see. Rip was asking if you can add multiple pay by check areas.
Like one level allows Swift and one level allows Venmo. Not currently. Maybe with custom code. It could look, if you're using the pay by check add-on, maybe it could look up the level ID and filter the payment, the statement of how to pay. It would be possible at the checkout page. You could write a really robust message in there. If you're buying the X tier, here's how to pay. If you're buying this tier, here's how to pay. You could also say, we'll contact you to accept payment. And then you would know as admin, oh, they bought supporters. We do Venmo or bank transfer. Oh, they bought this multi-$1,000 package. We only do wire transfer for that one, and send them the appropriate link.
Yeah, Neo Gothic Racing said, I'm thinking offside payment for cash text with HC. Yeah, anything that is not through like PayPal, Stripe, Paystack, any of the other payment gateways, anything offline. And then
you can just mail a check to 123 Street. Yeah. So you can just have a few options there for people. That message gets included in, obviously it's on the checkout page. It's also on the membership confirmation page and in the confirmation email that the member gets. So they're going to be reminded of where and how to pay them. I think it also shows up on the, we can test this. It also shows up on the order in the admin of the site for them. So here's the, on the
And I
confirmation
believe it
page
shows
where
in
it's
the email
shown.
too.
It's in the email. And
I
then
think
I
so.
think on this invoice there, if they come back to this, that links in a lot of places in their email. So if they come back to that, they can also see. And just for people who haven't used Paid Memberships Pro for that way before, you would then go to the order, locate it, and change the, oh, the status is success. Shouldn't it be pending? Oh, that's only with pay by check, right? Pay by check add-on. This one
Yeah.
otherwise automatically confirms. So we'll demonstrate that in the afternoon, how the pending orders work with pay by check add-on.
Yeah, another thing Rip mentioned was some clubs need to have also need to add their children who do not have their own email addresses. How would we advise handling this? And I believe the group add-on
Group
groups
accounts would still require the child accounts to have membership, to have email addresses to create membership. So one option is just to capture the names as user fields. So you could have a tier that's, family membership, includes up to 4 additional named family members, and then add a field group like family members. And that's like if people are coming in person and they're like, oh, I'm a member, my dad's a member. What's your name? Kim Coleman. Okay, we found you. If you're named as part of someone's membership. So you could just do it with user fields, especially if you're talking kids. You don't want anyone registering on your site that's a kid. So that's one way to do it. Another way is like kind of a hacky email address thing, but I think it's hard to explain. You can, do we have an article about that? I'll just type it here, but this sometimes works. If they don't have an email address, you can set it up that they use kind of a clone of the main user's account email address. And then you could use group accounts, like Sam said, to set up those child accounts. But it's kind of a hacky thing and not always the best. But I think most of the cases, you just need a named member and then some people on the account with them, which you could do with user fields pretty easily. And then they could juggle that around. Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if we missed anything. Can you please show the menu setup like login, register for PMP?
Sure. This is going to bleed into our blocks work a little bit, but let's do it here. This is are you using a full site editing theme, or are you using a classic theme? But I'll just set it up for this one. All right, so let's say we're going to, I'm going to set up 2 membership, 2 navigations. One's going to be membership levels and then login. Okay, and then I'm going to edit my header template. Nope, not what I want. I want this one. Block setting. Content visibility. Okay, so this is a full site editing theme. Depending on how your menus work, you might need the nav menus add-on. But with the full site editing theme, because of our block support, you can now create different menus pretty easily with content visibility settings. So this is our membership. I'm going to create 2 menus. This one is membership levels login, and then let's just make this one the logged in one. don't know why it doesn't always find the links. Mine hasn't been good at this. This one. Oh, they're already logged in. Nope, I don't want that. I'll explain it once I do it because I think that'll help me. All right, here, add after. Okay, that's this one. And group like this. I'll actually move the, I put it in the wrong one. No. Oh, I have to detach this. Oh, it's linked to the same one. Okay, that's going to be that one. Create new menu. Sorry, I have to get used to how to do this.
You have until 1:30 p.m. today.
Oh, good. How do you add navigation items to this? Is it this? Add a link. Okay, here. I never like, why doesn't it show up? Oh my gosh. Let's just do that.
Jason
then-
says full site editing nav menus are still awkward, smiley face.
They're so awkward. All right. So this is going to be our non-member one, or not logged in. This is going to be our logged in users one. So what do we have now? We have content visibility. So we'll talk more about this in the afternoon. This is a new feature in PMPro 3.0 to control visibility by block. So in a full site editing theme, if you wanted the two different menus, one that was like a register style and one that was for your logged in people, you could use content visibility to show this to logged in users. And then on this one, we would hide it from logged in users, showing it to logged out users, the inverse. So we wrap our brains around that. We'll figure it out one day. But I'll just show this on the front end and then log out of the site. I'm logged in, so I can see my link to my account, and I have that logout link. If I log out, I now see pricing and login. So really easy if you're using a full site editing theme to create those kinds of menus. It's also possible with the nav menus add-on, which we can demonstrate, that swaps menus. It doesn't work with full site editing themes. You have to be using a classic theme to go that route, but this is a full site editing theme. So in the afternoon, we'll demonstrate the MMPU nav menus stuff to swap menu locations based on membership. And that one's really cool because it goes all the way to single members. Membership levels can see different menus. So if you have features that are only available to like your highest tier, you don't even want to put them in the menu for different people, but also possible with the content visibility settings on blocks to do that.
Saheem said, "You're too fast, but nice to see it." Saheem, don't worry. This is going to stay on YouTube, and we're also going to dive more into the blocks in our afternoon session from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I will do my best to slow Kim down.
Why don't I do it on a page rather than, where's that sample page? All right. It'll probably be cleaner here. Yeah. So if we had a group block and you wanted, we'll just put a list. Well, that won't work. That's a WordPress built-in, that logout link thing. But you can see here on this outer group, go to content visibility, enable visibility, and we want to show to logged in users. So we're showing it to people who are logged into the site. We want them to access their membership account or log out. And then we would do the have another group block that's content visibility hidden from logged in users, and then create other experiences there. So we have an article on our site about creating like a dual login. Didn't we change the
We changed the name of it. And I don't
title
remember what we changed the name of it to.
here? So I assumed you were talking about menus, but if you were talking about the levels or the login page itself, this blog post has a tutorial of how to make your login page also highlight features of membership and direct people to choosing a plan. So people might land on the login page and not have a membership yet. So a good thing to do is sneak on a little ad for membership to this page. And you can use those same content visibility settings to have this screen look different once the user's logged in. So that's a good post to check out. If you were talking about in-post content or in-page content.
Yeah. Rip wants to know, how is it handled in the non-block manner, such as in the normal menu building area?
I've never tried to see if that works. I know they're starting to make that more block-like, right? Appearance menus. This is going to take me into the editor, isn't it? Yeah. There won't be any way to set visibility here on things. This is where you would rather use the nav menus add-on, which we'll demonstrate to create different menus for different membership levels. But it does work in, oh, this theme doesn't have widgets. Let's add member late. I should put a classic theme on here. Okay. The content visibly does work on widgets. So if you're still using a theme that supports widgets, you can do content visibility of your widgets too. So if your site had like a footer, a big mega footer with columns and menus, but it was managed via the widgets panel, you could do content visibility on the blocks you place in those widgets, but it's not part of this menus area right now. This is where you'd want to use nav menus add-on. Yeah, that editing the login page, we have that blog post. I can put the link.
Yeah, I thought we had a video too, but I'm not finding it.
I thought we did too. Maybe it's a good one to do.
I'm not finding like a design one on your login page.
Yeah, we can do one.
But I can try to find the blog post that we have.
I'll share. We added multiple memberships to our site to sell this Membership Accelerator program course. We have a free lesson for it. If you want to take the free lesson, but we're selling it as a once-off thing. It's always, we try when we have new features to use them ourselves in some way. So this is how we're using it, by selling this standalone course. But you guys can all take this sample lesson if you want to get a feel for it. It's really, I think for membership sites that like tried a few things, you're getting started and you're kind of like, I found what's kind of working. I want to really double down on this. And this is like a business to me. This is a serious thing. This program is designed to help you create like a marketing plan and really zero in on what is the value of your membership site. What is the value of what you're giving people? Who is your best buyer? You know, what are their pains and problems and what are you solving for them? So it's kind of a, I don't know, take it. Jose can be like your CMO and kind of guide you through all the conversations you need to have and decisions you need to make so that your offer is compelling and that you can help. It'll hopefully help you grow your membership. Or if you're kind of not sure quite what you're offering, zero in on what exactly is the most valuable feature of your membership site to offer people. So that's how we're dog fooding the multiple memberships per user currently on our site, is by selling the Membership Accelerator course. We'll see what other courses we unlock as time goes on and other ways that we use MMPU in our own environments.
I was really excited to launch that course.
Yes.
So
I hope people are thinking, maybe you all are thinking of ways to expand what you offer and sell to people. We're often like, oh, we need to get new members. And you forget you have this captive audience of people who are paying you for what you're offering them. And they're also a market that you can sell a new thing to. So it's like in the coming weeks ahead, I hope to see a lot of people like, oh, I realized I could productize this piece of my thing and sell it as a one-off thing. And that might attract new members just to buying that new thing. But it might also be a way to get more value, capture more value, and increase the lifetime value of the members you already have in your site. So
Yes.
exciting.
Katie is asking for the video on our courses for membership add-on without using a third-party LMS. I just dropped a link for you, Katie. It's on our add-ons page. And you also can search our YouTube as well. But we do have a video on our add-ons page on how to use the Paid Memberships Pro courses add-on to build courses without using a third-party LMS. And then
that's what we're using here on our site. We're using the built-in module from our courses add-on. But building a course with just pages and posts is also totally doable. Some people keep that way forever because they don't need it to be too complicated and need to manage things like that. It's really just courses like structured learning, structured information that guides people, from the start where they didn't know anything to the end. And you don't have to call it an LMS to deliver that kind of experience to your members. It's really organization. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Saheem says there should be a free plugin for email confirmation for register. Our email confirmation add-on is, I believe, a standard plugin, but all of our core plugin and our all of our add-ons are free and open source on GitHub. So if that is something you need, you can absolutely go get it.
Yeah, check out this landing page /free. Is it forward or backslash? I think I say that wrong. Anyway.
/free.
That sounds good. Thanks, Sam.
Forget the direction.
/free. It has instructions on how to do that. It's a little technical, but it shouldn't prohibit you from doing what you need to do.
Katie, let me know if I'm incorrect on the videos on the add-on page. I thought we had one that uses just our standard courses, and then in December, Kim and I broke up our massive course page for the add-on and broke it into the individual LMSs, so it was a little bit cleaner. But yeah, if we don't have a video on our courses add-on, that would be one that we could easily put together. Give us a week or two, but
I don't know, maybe more.
But yeah, let us know on that.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, I hope you all come back for the afternoon. We're going to talk about add-ons. I really want to talk about, I know nav menus came up today. I want to show proration. I know lock membership level had some changes. A lot of them that already had MMPU compatibility haven't changed too much. But I can show group accounts and how that adds a panel to the page. I'll brainstorm some also, but if there's any specific add-ons that you are either concerned about or are using and you just want to see how does that really work as in the MMPU environment in PMPro 3.0, we can play with those.
Someone also
David will have a list
using Tutor LMS.
Okay.
So we can go over like just briefly like our course as add-on and then how it bridges the gaps between some of the third parties, and also highlight Lifter, even though that has not been mentioned. Saheem asks, is there any way to join with you or opportunity to work for you? Not at this time. We are not looking at hiring right now.
Yeah.
But as far as questions go, you can reach out on our contact page, or you also can pay for support. Support's going to definitely give you more of that hands-on help than our contact page. Our contact page is going to just point you in the right direction to get documentation that you need.
Yeah. I'll just briefly touch on Tutor. Nothing is incompatible now with MMPU. It was never an issue of working with them together, but I think something we're going to see course creators doing is using memberships to create a a bulk number of courses on a subscription basis. So you might have a membership plan that charges a recurring annual or monthly fee that includes 10 of your most popular courses. You might also sell those courses a la carte in a separate level group. So that's possible with MMPU out of the box with 3.0 and our existing courses integration. You could have the same course be a part of a recurring membership and then also sell it as a one-time payment in a separate level group. So maybe we'll set that up and demo that after.
Real quick, we can, and if there are changes, we can dive into it in the afternoon. But are there any changes with pages like PMPro Invoice? I don't think there are. A lot of the front end changes are not done. Right?
That shouldn't be redirecting. It would redirect to the account page if the person has no invoices, but it should also give them, you can see maybe my URL shows this attribute.
Put your screen
I'm not
back
sharing
up.
anymore.
Add to stage. Oh, that was weird.
Okay. So when someone's viewing a single invoice, if it has this URL parameter, it'll show this single invoice, but without it, it should show a table of all invoices for the member. I don't know what happens if they don't have any invoices, if this redirects. This should not be redirecting to the account page. It should be showing a list of all the invoices for that logged in user. I don't know if I could quick test without it. If yours is redirecting, I don't know what that might be. I'm just going to switch to a, oh no, that user does have an invoice. Oh, let's make someone. This is the WordPress add user screen, not a paid memberships pro screen. No invoices found. So it doesn't redirect them away. It should still show them that list. I'm not sure why that would be. Yeah, freeze does even too. Yeah. Cool. We did it, Sam. Snack time.
That's session 1. Yes, it is time to walk our dogs, get lunch.
I actually have a meeting, but I'll do that at 12:30.
You have a meeting, but then we'll, walk dogs, have lunch, and then we'll be back at 1:30 for another 2-hour session. And then at 3 p.m. Eastern, Jason will be back with us to kind of give us some insight on what's to come beyond 3.0.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, everybody.